Hello everyone, Randall Ulrich here. I see that SacCT is back up and running. So I wanted to go over some of the items that are coming up, and taking a look here, I'll quickly review a couple of the assignments that are coming up fairly quickly. And the first is week 5, and this is coming up on the 12th, so you've only got a couple of days to turn that in. So I see as far as discussion question and annotated bibliographies, I see only a few people have done those so far, so you do need to make sure that you get those done by the 12th. So as far as the assigned reading, just to quickly review, you've got these 5 topics. You're basing your assignment, your annotated bibliography on that. You're also basing your response to the discussion question on that. Don't forget, you're also finishing up your flipped classroom text, chapters 7 and 8. One thing I do want to call attention to for chapter 8, the last bullet point here, you might want to have some fun with that. You can do this as a group effort when discussing your text. So this is something you might want to try. So take a look at that one, see how well that works for your group. So continuing for week 5. So for the annotated bibliography, the assignment here obviously is to learn how to do annotated bibliographies. In your resources, I do have some different sources available, and this one, of course, Bethel University is the one I point to as a good example to follow. And just to let you know, remind you, you're sending this off to Dropbox, to the annotated bibliographies subdirectory. Like I say, I see a few of you turned those in, but our deadline is quickly coming upon us. Okay. And of course, for the discussion question, quick review on that. You are including the statement and the question portion. This blank is being filled in with the topic that you chose, and you either agree or disagree. Remember to respond to the original question and then respond to 2 of your peers. If you're responding to a peer who has a similar topic, then you can use your resources. If you're responding to someone who has a different topic, don't forget to go look at their sources that they've cited in their response. Go read those sources and then respond accordingly. So that's week 5. So for week 6, your assigned reading here, just as a quick review again, you're reading 2 different e-texts. One is a Pacansky-Brock, and this is the required reading portion for that. And the second one is from Betcher and Conrad, and these are the portions that you'll be reading. And as I pointed out in other videos, I do have some optional reading as well. As far as your discussion question, you are comparing the flipped classroom chapter of Pacansky-Brock to Bergman and Sams. So how are the authors' views alike? How are they different? So compare your e-text with your textbook, and then your 2 e-text, Pacansky-Brock and Betcher and Conrad. The takeaway on that, what is the best practices for online teaching? And then I have an optional question. Again, the 2 e-text, Pacansky-Brock and Betcher and Conrad. What's your number 1 takeaway when it comes to the principles of online learning? So that's how you're responding to that question. So that is chapter 6. Now for week 7, your assigned reading here, I have a link, and this references online learning, and the author in that text writes at one point, not every learner should be an online learner. So the assignment on this is, when you initially read that statement, what do you think? What do you feel? How do you react to that statement? After you read the entire article, if you take a look at that statement again, now that you have the context of the article available to you, how do you feel about that statement now? So that's going to be the assignment there. So that is your discussion question. And of course, here's the assigned reading. It's got a link, and then you're responding to that statement. I do want to call attention to a couple of resources I have here. The first one is marked Instructional Design Models. And I've got a link that goes to a site about instructional design models. So when it comes to creating training, especially for the online environment, these are a lot of good resources and all the different schools of thought and how the different ones come about, who are some of the major thinkers, who are some of the major resources here. So this is something you can go look at on your own. and incorporate into any future designs. You may utilize this information for your presentations. Take from it what you will. The second source is the VARC questionnaire. So it's all about a guide to learning styles. And one of the best ways to help you be a better teacher and understand how others learn is to understand how you learn. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to the VARC questionnaire, and you'll see here it says, how do I learn best? So in this survey, there's a series of questions you're asked. You just check off whatever applies to you. Okay? As you go through these, click off whatever works best for you, and then you click on OK, and it will come back with a summary of how you learn best. Are you visual, are you kinesthetic, you're auditory, and so forth. So that is for week 7. Now, I mentioned in my prior video, as far as presentations coming up, I did make those general overviews available, and what I did was I brought up the PowerPoint that we used on our October 1st session. So let me do a quick review here. So it's due on the 24th. We're going to be doing our face-to-face presentation. You're doing a live presentation, and you're using PowerPoint to deliver your presentation. If you need something specific or don't have access to it, let me know. Otherwise, PowerPoint across the board. And the goal, of course, is to connect all your theory, your research, and real-life situations. So what is your situation? What theories do you subscribe to? And what research supports that stance that you have? So that's what's being addressed in these major points. This is not new information. I've gone over this. This is simply a refresher. But describe what is your situation? What are you doing? How do you teach? Are you K through 12, university level, so forth? What learning theory do you subscribe to? What are the studies out there that support the theory that you subscribe to? I'm not going to have a minimum or maximum. It's whatever applies, but make sure they are good studies that support your particular, whatever theory you subscribe to. And then how would you apply that theory and supporting research to your class or whatever your teaching situation is. So you really want to blend, what do I think? What do I subscribe to? What's the research out there that supports it, and then how does it apply to my particular situation? That's mostly what I'm looking for in this particular assignment. This PowerPoint presentation is available in the Week 8 folder, and I've made that available to you. Just click on this, it'll bring it up. I will be providing a grading rubric and specifics on this assignment a little bit later on. I was waiting for SacCT to come back up so I could post all that information. So keep an eye on the Week 8 folder, and I'll make sure I get that information to you. So again, comments, questions, concerns, let me know. One thing I do want to call attention to, again, I was waiting for SacCT to come back up so that I could get to these different resources. The resources folder, I wanted to show you some of these. There's in the resources folder, which is separate and apart from all the different weeks. The resources folder is a standalone folder. In here I have technical resources, and there's a bunch of resources for you to look at, different tools for audio, for screens, screen sharing, music, animation. So there's a bunch of resources available to you. Some articles. None of these are required. These are strictly for your information, background. Different articles that are attached, videos, blogs, journal stories. There's a lot of different resources here, and you'll find some that will be of interest to you. Some reading resources. I've got some APA formatting materials. Definitely, when it comes to APA formatting, if you don't already have an APA manual, you need to get one. If you don't have one and your assignments are coming up, there are resources online, one of which is this reading resources. The APA manual is available online. OWL from Purdue University is also available online. Those are two of the resources I have listed here. But you do want to make sure that you are checking those sources. And then, of course, all the videos that have previously come. And then, of course, if you belong to iMet 17, you should have already gone through this particular required training. So I just want to call attention to that. These are some sources available to you. If you find something that's available, something of interest, something that will help you in your future classes, you're certainly welcome to use any of these. If you have any that you want to recommend, particularly when it comes to the technical resources, just send me some information if you think something's worthwhile sharing with your classmates. All right, that does it for this particular session. So everyone take care, and signing off.